Hey, fragrance enthusiasts and lovers, welcome back. It's Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance Show, showcasing, of course, another beautiful fragrance. So thank you so much for stopping by today. Before we start this review, full 100% disclosure, Primera Fragrances have sent me, some of their fragrances, of course, and I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. I'm not influenced. I do appreciate, and I always like getting new fragrances, but I'm not influenced in what to say. I don't get any financial kickback. I'm not getting anything in return for these reviews, and honestly, they're not highly viewed on my channel. They actually don't help my channel grow really at all. So I take a loss in a way. But today we're going to be jumping into Elegance. Take this review, take it or leave it, but take it with a grain of salt if you'd like. I'm actually lukewarm on this one. Let's jump into it. This fragrance is rose, French rose in particular, coconut oil and musk. That's mostly what I get out of this fragrance. This fragrance has just a few accords. It's not terribly complex. It's kind of simple for what it is. I do think the rose comes out and it has a really charming quality about it. It is a little bit powdery, but it doesn't feel exactly like a Bulgarian rose. Bulgarian rose are very soft and almost delicate and have a well-rounded nature to them, almost like a bubble. This rose here comes off, it's almost like a mix between coming off as a Bulgarian rose and it has a kind of that, I don't think real Damascus roses here, but I can see why this fragrance is supposed to capture the Arabian soul. Perhaps a little bit more on the feminine side, Arabian, a very charming feminine Arabian lady and Middle Eastern lady. And this does have a little bit of that charm, a little bit of that exotic rose. That's a little bit more dry and perhaps can come off not smelling, but perhaps feeling like a rose. But it feels like how it comes off like a spice almost. So it is a little bit more exotic. If you are somebody who's a Western nose, you probably haven't smelled anything like this. But it's not a terribly unique fragrance. It is a little bit more simple. It's not terribly unique, but I do like it. I think there might be a little bit of sandalwood hidden up in this fragrance as well. The white oud is very clean. It's very easygoing. It almost adds a suede kind of texture to the fragrance, and it does come off dry and a little bit bitter. So this fragrance almost has a little bit of a semi-sweet vibe going on, and adds a really nice balance to the fragrance as well. So I really think this is a pretty good fragrance. Compositionally, I think it's a good balance, but it's not overtly exciting. It's not overtly unique. This is a fragrance that you could wear for everyday situations. This would be really nice to layer with some ambergris. If you are an Arabian lady, you know what that's all about. You probably have some Arabian oil, ambergris oil that the Arabian people love to use, or even some other musk oil to really amp this one up. So it's a little bit delicate, it's a little bit safe, but is it charming? Yes, and I do think it's nice for that. Perhaps comes off a little bit more of a younger lady's or younger woman's smell, but I do think that this one can be, of course, layered and, work a lot well with blended, of course, even layering with a lot of other beautiful fragrances. So, Elegance, pretty nice fragrance. Again, these are all eau de parfum concentrations. They're pretty high concentrations for what you get. It's always a good thing. Performance-wise, this was a 7 to 9 hour fragrance. It does linger on a little bit longer than that as a skin scent, but really, 7 to 9 hours is probably what you can expect out of this fragrance. It is a average projection of performance overall, average projection, average sillage, but it's a little bit more unusual. It might come off as a little bit more exotic, and it does get noticed a little bit more than you would, expect. I did dare to actually go out there and wear this fragrance, even though to me it comes off as slightly feminine. It is clean, and perhaps a guy who's very comfortable with rose fragrances perhaps could wear a fragrance like this. Like if you're very comfortable with wearing things like Oud Ispahan, it doesn't smell like Oud Ispahan, but I think you would be comfortable perhaps with wearing this fragrance. But to me, it certainly comes off as more like a young, charming Arabian lady. So really nice fragrance. I think it's pretty good, but not a great performer, but it's not bad for what it is. Could be layered again with lots of other fragrances. You could spray this one up and really would stick on clothes and really give you a really nice presence, or with your shawl or anything like that. it's or the dress with lots of layers. This would be really charming, and also nice because it doesn't really beg for attention. It doesn't shout for attention. But if you got too close to somebody, if maybe if you were having a conversation, I think that somebody would be able to pick up on that fragrance. And this is that kind of fragrance that it speaks with you instead of before you, and it doesn't shout or anything like that. So compliment factor wise, this is a nice fragrance. It didn't get any crazy compliments, but it does have a little bit air of almost mysteriousness because it is a little bit more unusual of a rose. It's not a common rose that you would come across. And the oud it is a little bit simple. It's just a white oud. It's not scary. It's not animalic. It's not particularly unusual. But for somebody perhaps who's never come across this fragrance, it does have almost an exotic, clean white fabric, almost like papyrus kind of feeling coming through with this fragrance, and I think it's a really good thing. So, getting into my final thoughts, even though it's not a big compliment getter, it is charming. I would say that this is charming. My final thoughts are: this is a little bit expensive for what it is. This is a 100 ml, 3.4 ounce bottle, so that's a good size, but it's about $180. So that's kind of expensive for what it is for a delicate, charming fragrance, but it is higher quality. Perhaps if you really like rose, or if you want something really clean and versatile to layer with other fragrances, and you can wear this anytime, anywhere. And and again, I do think it fits a little bit of a niche. I've pointed this out before in some other fragrance reviews that I don't think that there's enough fragrances for the ladies that smell clean. For men, there's Dior Homme Eau, which is discontinued now, but Prada Eau. There's lots of sandalwood fragrances. There's Off Not Supremacy in Heaven, and there's a number of fragrances, Mugler's Cologne, and things that have a man smelling very clean and fresh. But I don't think that there's a lot of fragrances for ladies that have that cotton or sandalwood clean, or just purely just a really clean smell to them. And this one does that. And it's simple, it's charming, and I think it's named pretty appropriately. Elegance is a good name. It's not really an opulent fragrance, as in really rich or super fancy. It's not golden. It doesn't have honey. It's not a super rich fragrance. This isn't a patchouli fragrance, but it's a simple elegance. It's a charming. It's a little bit of a reserved kind of elegance, and I like that. So. But a little bit steep for the price, but some ladies might like it. I don't know who exactly would love this fragrance. I don't think this is one that everybody's going to go out there and be absolutely crazy about, because for the price, as far as niche fragrances, you can find things that are more unique. You can find things that are more creative. But are you getting a good fragrance here? Yes. But there's other things out there that might be more interesting if you are more into the niche fragrances. But, there's things for everybody out there. There are people who are looking for mass appealing, wearable, just higher quality fragrances, and they are willing to pay a little bit extra money for that. So I think that is where this fragrance steps in. If you want a higher quality, clean, fresh, rose kind of fragrance in your lady, very charming, not too strong, but does have a good presence, this could work for you if you want something that's higher quality. But a lot of people I know, they're actually willing to, sacrifice a little bit of the quality actually for performance so they can save some money. So this is kind of the opposite side of that. So I guess it depends on how much money you have and what's it worth to you? What are things worth? So interesting fragrance nonetheless. I hope that I gave this one a good review. It's a very simple fragrance composition wise, but I hope that I represented it well. Anyways, if you did like my review today, if you did like what you heard, I think that you should check this one out and check out the rest of my videos on my channel as well. Please do. I have over 600 videos now. If you do like the content you're seeing, please help this channel grow. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. So I'll see you, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Wear what you love, rock what you got, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a beautiful one. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, and bye.